So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day everyone. Before I start, allow me to introduce myself. I am Siti Hafsabi Kabile and I will be continuing the report of Mr. Usman Ampaso, which is the Module 16 entitled The Revised Bloom's Taxonomy of Education Objectives. Now, let's move sa 6 levels ng revised taxonomy. The first level is the remembering or remember. Wherein, ang remembering is siya ang pinaka-first level ng Bloom's revised taxonomy, or should I say, ang pinaka-basic na level. So, sa level na ito, ang student is inaasahang maalala or ma-recall ang mga knowledge na natutunan na niya before. So, ang goal nito is para ma-retrieve or para maibalik ang dating knowledge ng student. For example, is i-recall ng isang student yung mga na-memorize niya na multiplication table and other knowledge na pwedeng ma-retrieve ng isang students. The question is, why was it important? So, it is important because itong first level na ito ang foundation ng learning, which is hindi ka makaka-move sa mas mataas na level, which is yung understanding, applying, and other higher level kung wala kang marirecall na mga information or wala kang marirecall na knowledge mo or knowledge ng isang student. Second is ang understanding. So, this is the second level ng Bloom's revised taxonomy, which is dito hindi lang basta nire-recall ang knowledge ng isang student, kundi iniintindi or naiintindihan na ng student at kayang ipaliwanag sa sariling salita ng student. So, ang goal nito is para maipakita na naiintindihan ng student ang concept ng isang lesson. So, why was it important? So, basically, kapag ang student ay nasa understanding level, hindi na siya basta nagme-memorize lang, kundi naiintindihan na niya ang concept ng lesson at kaya na niya itong gamitin o ipaliwanag sa ibang tao. The third level is ang tinatawag na applying. So, ito ang third level sa Bloom's revised taxonomy, which is dito naman, ang student is hindi lang ina-understand or nag-a-understand, but rather, dapat kayang gamitin ng isang student or kayang i-apply ng student ang kanyang na-learn in an actual situations or new context. So, ang goal nito is para maipakita na ang student is kayang i-apply o gamitin ang kanyang na-learn sa practical na situation. So, hindi lang sa theory. So, why was it important? So, it is important because ang applying level is nagpapakita na ang na-learn ng isang student is hindi lang panandalian. Kasi, kapag nai-apply na ng isang student sa totoong buhay, or should I say, sa practical na situation, ang kanyang knowledge, ibig sabihin is mas malalim or mas deep pa ang natutunan ng isang student. Let's move to the fourth level of the revised taxonomy, which is the analyzing, or sa Tagalog, tinatawag siyang pagsusuri. So, this is the fourth level na kung saan dito naman hindi lang basta nauunawaan ng isang student ang knowledge or ang information na na-learn niya, kundi sinusuri na niya ito ng malalim, meaning ina-analyze niya ito ng mas deep. So, ang layunin nito is para maunawaan ang mga connection, relation, at pattern sa loob ng knowledge or ng information. So, hindi lang basta pag-remember or pag-uulit, kundi pag-e-interpret din ng mga data or knowledge. Okay, so now let's move sa ikalimang level, which is the evaluating. So ito naman ay ang proseso ng pagbibigay ng halaga o pagsusuri sa mga idea, which is hindi lang basta pag-unawa, kundi pagbibigay ng criticism at paggawa ng mga reasoned judgment. So, kailangan nito ng mas mataas na level ng thinking kaysa analyzing dahil hindi lang basta pag-uunawa ang kailangan, kundi ang paggawa ng decision batay sa mga evidence at mga pamantayan. Last level is the creating. So, ito ang pinakamataas na level sa Bloom's taxonomy, which is sa revised taxonomy. So dito naman, hindi lang basta nauunawaan, sinusuri or tinataya ang mga information, but lumilikha din ang student ng bago gamit ang kanyang natutunan or gamit ang kanyang na-learn. So, ito ay ang pagsasama-sama ng mga idea upang makagawa ng isang original na product or original na idea na kung saan nangangailangan ito ng malalim na pag-unawa at malawak na kaalaman. So now let's move sa differences ng old taxonomy at sa revised taxonomy. So, pareho silang nagpapakita ng mga levels ng cognitive learning, but iba ang kanilang paraan ng paglalarawan. So, ang first na differences ng old and revised taxonomy is that the level and categories The first, the differences between the old and revised taxonomies is that the levels and categories of thinking in the old taxonomy were nouns, while the revised taxonomy, they are verbs. So yun ang sinabi ko earlier that in all taxonomy is mga nouns, while sa revised taxonomy naman is lahat sila verbs. So meaning, yung old taxonomy is nakatuon sa resulta o product ng pag-aaral, samantalang ang revised taxonomy is mas nakatuon sa proseso ng pag-aaral at sa mga nakasanayang ginagamit ng mga students sa pag-unawa at paggamit ng mga information. So, ang paggamit ng verbs sa revised taxonomy ay mas nagbibigay diin sa aktibong pagkikilahok ng mga students sa proseso ng pagkatuto. We have the following pyramid, which is yung first is the old taxonomy and the next naman is the revised taxonomy. So, for example, yung knowledge, naging remembering. Yung comprehension, naging understanding. Yung application, naging applying. Yung analysis is naging analyzing. And yung synthesis is naging evaluating. But, instead, in the old taxonomy, the high level is the evaluation. But in the revised taxonomy is naging naging high level yung creating kaysa sa evaluating. Let's move to the number 2 or the second differences between the old and the revised taxonomy. So, while it remains hierarchical, meaning it has levels of increasing complexity, so the revised taxonomy is designed to be more flexible than than the old version. So the flexibility words means that the categories can overlap and each level doesn't need to be completely separate. So those activities can encompass two or more levels of thinking simultaneously. So this is unlike the old taxonomy, where the divisions between levels were stricter. So, the flexibility of the revised taxonomy allows for a more realistic and nuanced assessment of a student's cognitive skills. Let's move to the third one. So, in the old taxonomy, the lowest level was knowledge, which this referred to recalling and retrieving facts and information. While in the revised taxonomy, the lowest level was changed to remembering, although they are conceptually similar because using remembering emphasizes the active process of recalling and retrieving information from memory, so not just sample recognition or awareness, because it highlights the process of accessing information rather than simply knowing it. So therefore, while the concepts are similar, the terminology better reflects the student's active participation in assessing information. Now let's move to the fifth one, which is the synthesis was changed to creating and placed at the highest level. And the arrow indicates this shift in terminology and hierarchical position within the cognitive skills framework. Last is the number 6, which is here naman, the revised cognitive domain now has two dimensions. We have the cognitive and knowledge dimension, wherein the knowledge dimension uses subcategories from the old taxonomy. So we have factual, conceptual, procedural, and metacognitive. And this means that the revised taxonomy considers both how we think, which is the cognitive dimension, and what kind of knowledge we are using, which is the knowledge dimension. Let's move to the two dimensions of the revised taxonomy. The first is the cognitive dimension. So, the cognitive dimension of the revised taxonomy describes the hierarchical levels of thinking. So, it is a continuum of increasing cognitive complexity. So, ranging from simple remembering to the most complex level of creating. So, the levels in between are understand, apply, analyze, and evaluate. So now let's move to the next dimension of the revised Bloom's taxonomy, which is the knowledge dimension. So it categorizes the type of knowledge being used in a cognitive process. But unlike the cognitive dimension, which focuses on the level of thinking from remembering to creating, so the knowledge dimension focuses on the kind of knowledge. So it breaks down into four categories. The first is the factual knowledge. So this is the most concrete level because it involves remembering specific details and basic facts. The second one is the conceptual knowledge. So this level naman, it involves understanding interrelationships among facts, ideas, and principles. So it's about grasping the bigger picture and making connections between different pieces of information. The third one is the procedural knowledge. So this refers to knowledge about how to do things, encompassing skills and techniques. So this includes knowing how to perform a task, solve a problem, or apply a procedure. And lastly is the metacognitive knowledge, wherein in this level naman, it is the most abstract level. It involves understanding one's own thinking processes and strategies, and it's all about knowing how you learn best, what is your strength and weaknesses, and how to monitor and regulate your own learning. So in all, the knowledge dimension ranges from concrete, which is the factual, to abstract, which is the metacognitive. So understanding this dimension is very crucial because different cognitive skills or tasks require different types of knowledge. Let's move to the uses of the revised taxonomy. So, the revised taxonomy provides a framework that helps educators in the following ways. So, first is it provides educators with a common set of terms and levels about learning outcomes that help in planning across subject matter and grade level. This taxonomy is natutulungan niya yung mga educators sa pag-provide ng mga terms, or should I say common set of terms and levels about the learning outcomes. So meaning, yung teachers is through this taxonomy, nabibigyan niya yung mga teachers na iisang set ng mga terms or level ng learning outcomes, which is through that mas madali or mas napapadali para sa mga teachers na magplano ng mga lessons sa iba't ibang subject at grade levels. So for example, sa isang school is yung English teacher and science teachers is sabay sila na nagplano ng performance task para sa mga students. So, ginamit nila ang taxonomy para siguraduhin pareho ang level ng thinking skills na kailangan in that given task. So for example, sa isang school, ang English teachers and science teachers is sabay sila na nagplan ng performance task na ibibigay sa mga learners. So, ginamit nila ang taxonomy para siguraduhin pareho ang level ng thinking skills na kailangan, tulad ng analyze. Halimbawa, yung English teachers, sinabi niya that analyze the character's motivation. Yung science teachers naman is sinabi niya that analyze the effect of pollution on the ecosystem, which is dahil yung dalawang teachers is pareho silang gumamit ng taxonomy, naging align ang expectations nila sa mga students nila kahit na magkaiba ang kanilang subject. Number 2 is it helps in the drafting of learning standards across levels. So, meaning, nakakatulong ito sa paggawa o pagbuo ng mga learning standards sa bawat level ng education. So, for example, from elementary to high school. So, from high school to senior high o from senior high to college. So, for example, is ang DepEd or ang Department of Education is gumawa sila ng curriculum guide para sa subject na aralin panlipunan sa grade 4 to grade 10 na level. So, ang DepEd is gumamit sila ng taxonomy para ma-ensure na kahit pa unti-unti is tumataas ang level ng thinking na kailangan gamitin. So, from remember at understand or sa lower grades to up to evaluate at create sa higher grades, which is in that way na ipapakita ang progress o pag-angat ng thinking skills habang tumataas ang grade level ng mga learners. Okay, so number 3, it serves as a guide in evaluating the school's curriculum objectives, activities, and assessments. So meaning, nagsisilbi rin itong guide para ma-evaluate kung ang curriculum ng isang school is align ba ang objectives, activities, and assessments na ginagamit nila or binibigay nila sa mga learners sa tamang level ng isang learners. So, for example, ang principal ng isang school is nag-review siya ng mga lesson plan ng isang teacher. Wherein, nakita niya na ang objective is analyze the theme of this story, but yung assessment na binigay niya is multiple choice lang na factual recall, which is ginamit niya ang taxonomy para ipakita na hindi align ang activity sa objective. So, meaning, tinulungan siya ng taxonomy na i-check kung naabot ba talaga ng lesson ang target na higher order skill ng isang or ng mga students. So, number 4 is it guides the teacher in formulating learning outcomes that top higher order thinking skills. So, ginaguidean ito ang mga teachers sa paggawa ng learning outcomes na hindi simple na kaalaman, but pati yung mas mataas na level ng pag-iisip gaya ng analysis, the evaluation, at the creation. So for example, yung MAPIC class. So, imbis na simple lang na like identify the elements of dance, is ang teacher is gumamit ng mas mataas na level. Like, create a short cultural dance presentation that integrates the traditional steps and music, which is through taxonomy, nagawang iangat ng teachers ang through taxonomy, nagawang iangat ng teacher ang binigay niyang task mula sa simple level up to complex level.